As the old saying goes, all good things must come to an end. And I'm referring to that this could be the very last, or actually this will be the very last episode of our New Year's playthrough of Murder on the Orient Express. I am TJ. This has been a great full playthrough that I've done. I'm really big on mysteries, as you guys know. And the way the story has turned out, I like the way Microwave has done this modernized take, is actually really good. I like how everything's turned out with the new addition of Joanna, with the new character Joanna helping out Poirot. And we did a lot in the last chapter. By the way, the agenda for today is we're going to talk about a lot of things from outside of the game to what my next full playthrough will be, which will be coming up really, really soon, right after this. So, last episode we had to go to Geneva, which we were on the clock to search both Aziz Wadi's apartment and also his office to locate a safety deposit box in which we found some evidence as to who the 13th mysterious killer is of Samuel Ratchett. So it was a pretty lengthy episode in terms of what we had to do. We got lost quite a bit as far as solving the puzzles between the office and the apartment, but we were able to get through. So we're going to get right to it. This will be the last two chapters of the entire game. Really excited to see how the story turns out. And I will talk about some things like the NFL playoffs. Man, this has been a great weekend of games, from blowouts to surprise victories, such as the Texans blowing out the Browns, the Chiefs playing in negative 15-degree weather at Arrowhead Stadium against the Dolphins. The best one so far was right before this recording, the Cowboys losing badly to the Packers.
You have kept us in suspense ever since we left Lausanne.
And I gotta turn off the damn captions. 10 straight episodes I had to do this. I always tell myself I gotta remember to do this before I start the episode, but nope. I failed this entire full playthrough. Alright, so back to what Book was saying.
Forgive me, my friend. Detective Locke and I needed the time to put the last pieces of the puzzle in their proper places.
I'll fill in where I can, but this is Mr. Poirot's show.
I confess I can't help, but I feel a certain déjà vu.
You are correct, Doctor. We have been here before. However, without you, we wouldn't have been able to reach the true conclusion of this story. My friends, your attention, please. I hope you have finished your dessert. You have every right to think the solution to the murder of Ratchett is a closed book. You are wrong. I, Poirot, admit that I was wrong. There is a final chapter.
What in bloody hell?
What does he mean?
Perhaps if we are silent, Monsieur Poirot will explain.
Most of us naturally expect a journey by train to proceed in an orderly fashion from station to station. But this journey has gone off the rails. A comfortable journey, which should have been restful, turned out to be quite a challenge for my little gray cells. I beg your indulgence. I know it will be painful, but I must update you on the strange turn the Ratchett murder investigation has taken. I had two hypotheses, as you recall. A stranger boarded the train in Vinkovsky, killed Ratchett, and then exited the train unobserved. That was the first possibility. The second solution gave us 12 jurors who condemned Ratchett to death for the kidnapping and murder of Daisy Armstrong. My friend, Book, properly chose the first solution for the authorities. However, thanks to Dr. Constantine here, a 13th stab wound was discovered, throwing that solution into disarray. Moreover, the words of a witness called into question the chronology of the night of the murder upon which the first two solutions were based. Detective Locke,
And this is where I cut the episode right here, so we're going to continue on where it last ended.
Michael admitted to having been absent several times during the night. His absence, therefore, gave multiple opportunities for a 13th murderer to slip into Ratchett's room before the other 12 jurors lined up to stab him.
You are saying the man Ratchett was... when we...
Yes, you executed a man who was already dead. But there were other suspects that night.
Other suspects? Who?
They stand before you. Mr. Fauché, Mr. Maury, and Ms. Nielsen. And they all also had a hole in their stories about their movements that night. Mr. Poirot?
Most of you don't know it, but there was a second murder in Venice.
Mein Gott, another murder.
The victim was a man named Aziz Wadi, a banker in Geneva who was on the payroll of Ratchett. He looked after the money Ratchett obtained from the Armstrong ransom. Ratchett needed money and arranged to meet Mr. Wadi in Venice. One of these three knew about that money. Now, each of them had an alibi of a sort, but if any of their alibis was a lie, that person had time to murder Monsieur Wadi, Monsieur Fauché, Mademoiselle Nielsen, and Monsieur Maury. One of you murdered Ratchett and Monsieur Wadi.
Are you kidding? I pour drinks for our guests. I don't murder them.
It's nonsense.
You are accusing me because of my knives?
But why would one of my employees kill Ratchett?
No. Think, Joanna. The killer's motive for killing Ratchett was revenge, but not for Daisy's death. The motive for Aziz Wadi's murder was also revenge. Mr. Wadi was helping Ratchett.
Ratchett had an accomplice in the kidnapping named Noah. They kidnapped Daisy together. Ratchett stored the ransom money in a Swiss bank that protected anonymous clients. He forced Monsieur Wadi to watch over the money. Once enough time had passed, Ratchett felt it was safe to have Monsieur Wadi bring him cash whenever Ratchett needed it.
The serial numbers of the bills would still be in a file, but no one would be actively checking it.
Precisely. But Ratchett didn't just keep the ransom in his safety deposit box. There was something much worse. There was something much worse than Daisy's ransom money in that safety deposit box. During her investigation, Detective Locke found evidence proving that Ratchett was what is known as a trophy killer. He kept souvenirs of his crimes. We found trophies in the safety deposit box. There were others in a cabin Ratchett used in the Berkshire Mountains, including a beloved toy of little Daisy's.
If I'd have known that, I would have cut the bastard's head off.
She just gave herself away.
No, not good.
Okay, wait, hold on. This right here? There we go.
That was easy. The bracelet found in the safety deposit box was also on Noah's wrist in a photograph. It's obvious Ratchett killed Noah, and therefore, at last, I can tell you with absolute certainty who the murderer of Ratchett and Monsieur Wadi is. Golden moustache.
Look at the bracelet. It's the same one.
Mademoiselle Nielsen has the same bracelet as the one found in the safety deposit box in Geneva. A trophy from a victim of Ratchett. Noah.
Having a similar bracelet doesn't prove anything.
Yes, that might be true. If there were not an inscription on it.
Mr. Poirot, you're right. The bracelet looks similar to mine, but I have no idea what the marks on it mean. I just like the design.
The marks are not random, mademoiselle. These are special bracelets. They are called Morse code bracelets. Because, well, you know why. The marks are Morse code. Happily, I learned Morse when I was a young man doing my service for the Belgian army.
Her damn name. And then that should be, yeah, that's an A.
My little gray cells did not let me down. On the bracelet found in Ratchett's safety deposit box was the name Freya in Morse code. Your first name. It belonged to your father, Noah. Noah Nielsen. Let's stop playing this little game, mademoiselle. What does yours say? Noah?
It says father. Ratchett. That bastard. He kept my father's bracelet as a trophy.
Thank you. I have to admit your timing for Ratchett's murder was perfect. Do you mind if I continue?
Would it matter? Go ahead. You've earned the right to crow.
I do not make bird sounds, mademoiselle. I take no pleasure in this.
Yeah, that was quick. Frazier is the 13th murderer.
You drugged Ratchett's dessert to ensure he would be unconscious when you went to his room. You stole a knife from Monsieur Maury. If it was identified as the murder weapon, he would be accused. You knew Pierre Michel would leave the train for a smoke whenever it was stopped at a station. At Vinkovsky, you waited until he was on the station platform. Then, you carefully made your way along the first-class corridor to Ratchett's room. You entered Ratchett's room with the pass key, accessible to all employees in the crew quarters. You stabbed Ratchett at midnight.
But that knife, where is it?
Probably thrown out of Ratchett's window before the train left the station. A thorough search after the snow melts should turn it up.
My beautiful knife.
Then, you carefully returned to the crew quarters, replaced the passkey, and returned to your poker game. Et voila. The affair was not so complicated in the end. But what made the crime seem more complex? Well...
It was us.
Exactly. The 12 jurors who proceeded to carry out their far more complicated plan literally in the dark without realizing that the man was already dead.
Speaking only for myself, of course, but I believe we would have invited you to join us.
Ms. Nielsen, you killed Ratchett because he killed your father. Your motive is crystal clear. But why did you kill Aziz Wadi?
It's because of Aziz that my father died. My father knew Aziz was the only one with access to Ratchett's safe, so he convinced Aziz to steal the money from the safety deposit box. But Aziz was too afraid of Ratchett. Instead, he betrayed my father by reporting him to Ratchett. Obviously, Ratchett then murdered my father. Aziz was just as guilty of my father's death as Ratchett.
Ratchett was the worst of humanity. But Monsieur Wadi, if you knew his story...
My father is dead because of him.
I will not debate the point with you, mademoiselle. He had done nothing to justify his death. I do not see any extenuating circumstances that should allow you to escape justice. You will be arrested at the Gare de Lyon when we arrive in Paris.
Judge and jury are you, Monsieur Poirot. And you get away with it. It must be nice. But think of this. I know what you did. What you all did.
She's right. She could turn us all in.
Relax. Hector, is it? Your secret is safe with me. I'm not going to jail. Farewell, Poirot. Enjoy your victory.
Stop!
Seriously? Oh, don't jump out the train! She's gonna kill herself.
No, Freya, don't jump. You're going to die.
I've made my choice. We'll let fate decide.
No!
Oh, damn.
She jumped off the train. Even if she hit the water, considering the height, I doubt she survived. And with this tunnel, either way, she's gone, Poirot. I still can't believe what happened. 13 people took revenge on the same person. This investigation is so incredible. It almost looks like a detective story.
It would surely be a bestseller. It is true that this case will remain as one of the most important investigations of my career.
My only regret will be that I couldn't bring Ratchett to justice, but I can finally close this chapter of my life.
Your determination paid off. You can be proud of yourself.
I think we'll be arriving in Paris soon.
If you will pardon me, Detective Locke, I have to settle a few details with Monsieur Bouc before we arrive.
Please, go ahead.
Alright, wrap-up time. Let's see, can I move out of here first? Talk with everybody here if I can.
Ah, Mademoiselle Debenham et Captain Arbuthnot. Allow me to congratulate you on your upcoming nuptials.
I hope you won't be too disappointed if you're not invited.
Archie, really? Thanks to Mr. Poirot, there will actually be a wedding.
As you say, my darling. Sorry, Elban, and thanks for everything, including finding my train ticket.
Count Andrigny, how is the Countess?
Much better now that it's all over. I misjudged you, Poirot.
And I you.
There is something else about my wife you should know. Why I am so overprotective.
She is pregnant.
You are quite the detective.
Actually, Dr. Constantine told me. She admitted as much when he was attending to her.
If it's a girl, we're going to name her Daisy. If it's a boy,
Hercule,
he'll be stuck with Rudolph. It's a family tradition.
I wish you and all of your family much happiness.
Thank you.
Yeah, back to what I was saying, man. The Packers demolished the Dallas Cowboys. What was it, 42-28 or something like that? It wasn't even funny, man. It was like the worst. Like just seeing the Cowboys falter against the Packers like that throughout the entire game, and yeah, it's just. I was really surprised. I thought the Cowboys would beat the Packers in a close one, but I was wrong about that because I picked the Niners and Cowboys to face each other in the NFC Championship just like everybody else. But now it's looking likely that the Niners and Lions is on a collision course for the NFC Championship. And yes, I did say the Detroit Lions. They beat the LA Rams 24-23. And that was a really good game. I think that was the best game in terms of the competitive atmosphere. That was the best game of the entire wild card weekend. But we still have 2 more games to go with the Bills and Steelers game. That got pushed back from Sunday to Monday because of that nasty snowstorm. And then we also have the Eagles and Bucks. And whoever wins between the Eagles and Bucks will go to Detroit. And Detroit has at least another home playoff game. And that was an amazing atmosphere to see in Ford Field. Just having a home playoff game for the first time in 30 years. I gotta tip my hat off to Detroit. They stood up and stood out. They got a great fan base over there, and they're long overdue for a great amount of success in the playoffs. Let's see if I'm missing anything else here. Excuse me. Make sure I don't miss anything here. Okay, no longer accessible. Okay. I'll talk to Book real quick.
I still can't believe Freya was the killer. She never even cheated when we played poker.
She used too much sugar.
Nonsense! Her desserts were divine.
Unfortunately, her actions were not so divine.
There you are, my friend.
Book, I have a favor to ask.
Anything.
When we arrive in Paris, will you speak to the police? I would rather keep a low profile.
But why?
Book, my first solution was incorrect.
Nonsense. The nuttier the mystery became, the greater your brilliance.
Please.
Very well, if you insist.
I want to thank you, gentlemen, for your service. The cuisine. Under difficult conditions, you surpass the reputation of the Orient Express.
That is true. I look forward to seeing you again abroad, Monsieur Poirot. I promise, not all of our trips are this eventful.
Princess Dragomirov would like a word with you, Monsieur Poirot. It is important. She is waiting for you in her compartment.
When a princess summons me, how can I refuse?
Yeah, how can you refuse that? Alright. There's still 2 mustaches to collect even though I'm done with this game almost. Okay. Look around and see if there's any mustaches around here. Already talked to those 2. Good luck with them.
Another delightful trophy for my collection.
This has been a really good game. I missed the door. Oh, right here. They're all gonna murder me.
My daughter, my great friend, and I wanted to talk to you one last time. I speak on behalf of the entire Armstrong family, as well as those close to us. You have shown compassion. We know your reputation, and we understand that your choice was not easy for you. We are all the more grateful. Thank you.
Congratulations, my dear. You managed to say the word thank you, although he did manage to put us through quite a lot.
You have given us all closure and some peace of mind.
You should know that I regret nothing. If this Freya Nielsen person had not been involved, I would have done it again.
Someone told me the Stalinists were frightened of you. I believe them.
The country of my birth breeds its share of brutes and bullies, but also some of the greatest intellectual and artistic minds the world has ever known. I pray that one day we will again be remembered for that.
I share your hope, Princess.
And of course, with the real murderer of that man out there somewhere, we are no longer guilty of much. Correct?
Princess, don't push your luck too far. If you'll excuse me, I have some packing to do. Ladies?
Alright, let's pack it up. We're almost there.
At the end of this investigation, I still have my doubts. Did I make the right choice with the 12 self-proclaimed jurors?
I say yeah.
Yes, it was the right thing to do. As for Mademoiselle Nielsen, what would I have done if she had not escaped?
I'd say yeah.
Is it justice to let the 12 go free but have Mademoiselle Nielsen arrested? A vast question indeed. Judges often take motive into consideration when deciding the sentence for a crime. You are not a judge. Your job is to establish the facts, which you have done. The case has been solved. Another already awaits you. It is the reason you are on this train. It is time. Time to move on.
We're officially in Paris.
Monsieur, you can't pass.
I kind of miss the train stations in Japan. Very peaceful and tranquil. You don't have to use your phones or anything.
I hope you will travel with... I hope you will travel with us again, Monsieur Poirot.
Exactly. Very well. Yes. Monsieur Poirot, I spoke with my associates. I convinced them to give you a deal on our new Firenze SUV. No need to thank me. It's the least I could do.
That is very generous, but no, I do not drive.
You don't? What? But it's electric. It's good for the planet.
I am good for the planet, as long as I don't drive.
I don't understand. He refused. No problem.
Oh, boo. This is...
Poirot is a nasty man! Poirot is a nasty man!
I wonder where Princess Dragomirov's bird can have heard that. Have you lost something? May I help you?
Oh, Mr. Poirot, you have done so much already.
What is it you have lost?
My friends, we are traveling to Poland to help with children. We were to meet at an information booth. But where do I get information on how to find an information booth?
There is, I believe, an information booth just inside the main terminal.
Oh, thank you, sir. You are a great detective.
And you, madame, are a good soul. I will miss this train. News travels fast. Another golden moustache to treasure.
The train system is very simple in Japan.
Hey, Poirot. Say, have you seen a scruffy little guy in a green trench coat?
I cannot say I have. Why?
He's my next case.
Another case? That was indeed fast.
A detective's gotta eat. You know what I mean.
I have some idea, yes.
Suspected embezzler, traveling east, and out on the Orient Express. Say, you wouldn't be interested in teaming up, would you? Some good money in it.
I have had enough of trains for a while, thank you.
Okay, suit yourself. Mr. Poirot, Mr. McQueen here thinks he may know an attorney in the Berkshires who might need a gentleman's gentleman.
He's old school English. I think the clock stopped for him in 1934.
I hope it works out for you, Monsieur Masterman. What about you, Monsieur McQueen?
Well, back to law school for me, following my father's footsteps. We can take the train to St. Pancras, then the Piccadilly line to Heathrow and check out some flights.
Might as well. We're already packed.
I wish you both bonne chance.
Ah, Poirot. Mission accomplished. I have reported to the police that Freya Nielsen killed Ratchett and that she escaped. They're issuing an international arrest warrant. There's a canal that runs alongside the tracks where she jumped from the train. But they say there's little chance she survived. The police have questioned all of the passengers and crew, so for now, they are free to leave.
I gave them the results of my preliminary autopsy, and they have the report from the Venetian authorities. They were arguing about jurisdiction when I left.
Thank you, Doctor. You have been of inestimable help.
A fascinating case. I'm pleased I could assist you.
Mr. Poirot, it seems our paths part here. It was an honor and a pleasure to work with you.
And I am with you, Detective Locke. The case would have been impossible without your tenacity and dedication to finding the truth. You also proved to be an able con artist in Geneva.
You too. Thank you for everything. I'll never forget you.
And I shall always treasure our collaboration.
What's that look? You're passing that up?
That's that. I'm hungry. Let's go to the Wagon Rouge restaurant. They make an excellent leg of lamb.
But it's only 5:34 p.m. Is food all you really think about, my friend?
I'm the one inviting you. You've well deserved it.
I'm warning you, I'm not going to obtain for you a secret recipe this time.
Poirot, they make a chocolate mousse that is so creamy. It must have a secret ingredient in it.
The last recipe came from a murderer.
But it was sublime.
That was really good. Now this is the real credits here. Let me speed it up here. This was good. Had a good amount of humor, but also good. Like this was a little bit just as dark as the actual movie or even the book, perhaps. But I give this game an 8, 7.5 to an 8 out of 10. Simple gameplay mechanics. The graphics aren't really all that, but the story is what keeps you engaging. So I'll tip my hat to Microids for that. French, no. For English. There we go. Some people did the same voiceovers. Okay. Good soundtrack as well too. Let me speed all the way, but hey, you know what? Can I? Oh, okay. I can't skip all this. I have to speed it up. All right. So a lot of things to talk about. Oh, we're at the end. Thank you for playing. Good, and thank you for making this game. Is there an end credits? Oh, there is an end credits. What's this? End credits scene. Excuse me. Looks like some sort of pound cake. Alright, what is this letter here? I wonder if this is from his partner. Oh, I forgot his name. There we go.
Dear Poirot, I didn't really have time to say goodbye when we parted. I thought I had beaten the greatest detective in the world. But you unmasked me. I still had my revenge, though. I even managed to help myself to a small amount of cash from Waddy's bag before you interrupted me in Venice. It will be enough to settle somewhere in a quiet little town where I will create delicacies for appreciative clients. You won't hear from me again, nor will Book get any more of my recipes. Oh, and one last thing. You may not think so, but I truly believe Ratchett and Waddy got their just desserts. Regards, F.
You, mademoiselle, are entirely too pleased with yourself. You give clues no one could follow. unless they are Hercule Poirot.
And that is it. That wraps up the very first full playthrough of 2024. Murder on the Orient Express, now in the catalog for this year. Alright, so some things I want to talk about real quick before I wrap this up. Yep, this was a very short episode, but hey, I'm glad to knock this out. I'm glad I had some low to mid expectations about how this game was going to turn out, but I'm glad I chose this game to start off the new year. So there are some games that I will be playing out later this year. I've already talked about what some of those games are, so I did mention back in the previous the holiday playthrough that whichever I didn't choose, I'll complete later on, and that's going to be Sherlock Holmes: The Devil's Daughter. I won't do that yet. I already have chosen a game that I'm going to do next. But there's also Alone in the Dark that comes out, I believe, in mid to late March. We also have... I'm still waiting for the System Shock remake. That's going to be the big one, and I think that's going to take a little longer than I expected it to be. Now, if it does take a little longer for it to create for the consoles, that will be my spectacular playthrough in October, but we'll see when that comes out. But my next full playthrough is going to be a game that's going to be coming out on release day. Well, obviously, I'm going to start that playthrough on release day if I do have the time, and it's going to be Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. I've had my game on this for quite a while since the game was first announced last year, and based on the demo that I've played, I am really impressed with the gameplay mechanics as well as the story and how everything pretty much is created from Ubisoft. This is their first Prince of Persia game in over almost 15 years, actually, now that I think of it, dating back to the Forgotten Sands. And it's going to play out like that, the last Metroid game. Was it Metroid Dread, I think it is? So I'm really looking forward to playing that. That game, from what I've read, is roughly 20 plus hours long. And then including some of the side quests, but that will be I think that's going to be a very long playthrough. So I'm looking at least 12 episodes at the least. So we'll see how that turns out. So you guys stay tuned for that. That's going to be airing up pretty soon. You guys, thank you for tuning in for my New Year's playthrough to kick off 2024 of Murder on the Orient Express. And don't forget, I do have some other games that I'll be playing. So we will see where that turns out. Like I said, there will be a lengthy break after... I've already decided that I'm going to do a lengthy break after I complete Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, so that way I can get myself ready for Final Fantasy Rebirth. I just don't know if I'm going to do if I'm going to replay Final Fantasy VII Remake on my own, not as a full playthrough, but on my own, because there's some additional content to be added once when the game recognizes that save file in your system. Basically, additional materia and additional summons and all that stuff. So we'll see. But until then, I will see you guys later for the Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. That'll be my next full playthrough. And you guys take care. Please stay healthy, and you enjoy the rest of 2024, as I will. See you later, guys.